After a long day, the last thing anyone wants to have to do is go home to make an extravagant meal that takes an hour or more to make. You want something that's quick and easy, yet nutritious for you and your family. Well, goulash is definitely a dish that hits all of those marks. Now, I practically grew up in a kitchen, since both of my parents are really great cooks. That meant from a young age, I was definitely learning the tricks of the trade when it came to cooking. So this is definitely something I'm very comfortable with. Now, I couldn't find a family recipe for goulash, so I turned to the internet and was able to find a really simple one on thekitchenismyplayground.com. So we're going to be referencing that recipe that I found, but also add our own little twist to it. By the end of this presentation, you will be able to make an easy and versatile goulash. I say it's versatile because you can really add to it to make it your own. Which means that you can add different vegetables and spices to it to accommodate what you like. Now, for ours today, I chose to add beans to it. I chose to add beans to our recipe today because, according to consumersreports.org, beans are an inexpensive yet highly nutritious food. It's filled with nutrients such as iron, magnesium, potassium, protein, and even fiber. And they also help reduce the risk of heart disease. And some fun facts about beans is that it's actually a vegetable and a protein, so you get the best of both worlds with them. And they can even help with weight loss, which is not expected, but definitely makes beans a superfood for us. So now that we know what we're going to add to our recipe, let's get to it. So first we need to gather our materials. So we're going to need a stove, medium-sized pot, large frying pan, wooden spoon, silicone spatula, a strainer, knife, and potentially a can opener depending on what kind of cans you have. I put a few pictures just for reference on the sizes of the pot, pan, and knife. Now that we have our materials, we want to get our ingredients together, such as our 2 cups of elbow macaroni, 1 pound of ground beef, an onion, 1 can of kidney beans, 2 cans of tomato soup, and salt and pepper for taste. And since this is a very versatile recipe, you can really make it your own by adding in other vegetables such as peppers, chunks of tomatoes, carrots, and even corn to it. Now, these are all of our steps for making the goulash, but we're going to go step by step. So now, let's get cooking. We're going to take our pot and fill it with the recommended amount of water to get it boiling over a high heat. We're going to want to salt our water because this actually adds extra flavor into our pasta. So once our water is boiling, we're going to add our 2 cups of pasta. And we want to make sure that we don't undercook our pasta. So after about 7 to 8 minutes of cooking, which is usually when it's al dente, the best way to avoid undercooking is to actually just take out a piece and try it. And if it's at the right texture, then you're ready to do step 2, which is straining and then returning it to the pot. Now we're at step 3, which is dicing our onion. This is a step that many people end up crying or potentially cutting themselves. So in order to avoid that, we're going to follow some of Gordon Ramsay's steps. So according to Gordon Ramsay, the best way to avoid crying is to actually keep the butt of the onion on while you're cutting it, which is the brown part of it. And you'll also want to do the 3-finger method, which is taking your 3 fingers and putting it on top of the onion, so that way you can guide the knife along. And you'll actually take your middle finger and put it a little bit more forward because that will be your true guiding finger. So once we're done dicing the onion, it'll be at this consistency that's shown on the right picture. Now we're on to step 4, which is browning our ground beef and onion together. We're going to take our pan and put our ground beef in it and put it over a medium heat. And we're going to take our wooden spoon and just break up the ground beef into chunks, kind of like what we see in the picture on the left. Once it starts to brown a bit, then we'll add in our diced onion and just mix it together with the spoon. Now we want to avoid undercooking and overcooking our beef. Undercooking it can cause us to get sick, and overcooking it can make the beef dry. So once your beef kind of looks like what the right picture is showing, then you're ready to take it off the heat and strain the mixture and then return it back to the pan. Now we're on to step 6, which is just adding our 2 cans of soup and then the can of kidney beans to our mixture. So once it's all in there, we'll just kind of mix that all up and move on to step 7, which is heating the ground beef soup mixture until the soup is heated through. You'll be able to tell it's heated through because it'll bubble just a little bit, and that's when we know that we are on to step 8, which is adding our cooked macaroni to the heated ground beef soup mixture. So we'll just stir it in, and you can also add salt and pepper at this point just to give it a little bit more flavor. And then we are on to our final step, which is enjoy! This goulash recipe is quick, easy, versatile, and delicious. It only takes 30 minutes to make, which is a record time for making a dish which is delicious and also healthy for you. And it won't get boring since you can definitely switch it up and make it your own and add different vegetables, spices, and even different toppings to it. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy the video and that you enjoy your goulash.